What's up? Hello, welcome.
Hello, I've missed
I
you.
missed you, both you in the audience and you, Kayla, right next to me. I really have.
You
Uh,
the plural.
Welcome either to the first time or back to the witching hour. We're back after canceling last month. It was my fault. Don't worry about it. Um, and we're just so happy to be here, though. And we're happy that you're here with us. This is the witching hour. We're a Trident Network production. The Trident Network, which just celebrated its fourth birthday,
Okay, toddler.
strong network. We have live shows, podcasts, videos. It is a community of super cool creative people. We're 4 years old, and we're all here today because of Val Agnew, who is the creator and producer of the Trident Network. But here on this show, we know her as Sky Mommy, and we're so happy
Yes.
to be back here today. So
Give
Sky
it up for
Mommy,
Sky Mommy.
what's up? How the hell are you?
Hi, my sky babies. I've missed you so much.
I've truly missed you. It's funny because Val and I are in the same city.
Hmm.
Kayla's in another state, but this is the time when we can all see each other.
Yes.
Yes. And I feel back in the swing of things being back in the same time zone as y'all, you
We are
know?
back in the same
Yes.
zone now.
Yeah, for
Mhm.
sure. For sure.
We've done this show across three different states, mostly because Kayla has moved twice.
I love running around.
But we're still here doing it, and that's I'm just this feels like our birthday of sorts, even if it's not
Yeah.
like actually. So
It's
anyway,
pretty darn close.
I
You're
think so.
right.
4 years. This is the witching hour. Caleb, why don't you tell us about the witching hour? Because I've been talking
Hey,
so
y'all. The witching hour is just our silly little space for us to explore all the things mystical and magical in life. Em and I love divination. We love astrology. We love meditation when we can do it. So here's our space for us to have some funny little fucked up games and talk about what is on our mind. It's kind of like I am not in talk therapy right now, so I am opting for this.
absolutely. This is not a substitute for therapy in any
But
way.
in times of breaks, perhaps.
Yeah. In times of break, like I was thinking, like, those guys that go on that retreat, those retreats where it's like no distractions, no girls, no internet, no junk food, just lock in and grind. I think this is like it's spiritual reciprocal.
Yeah. Yeah. We're spiritually locking in and grinding in our own safe, protected space.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll go with that. So welcome to the witching hour, everybody.
Hey, sky babies, real quick, not to interrupt too hard, but I just did some quick research and it is almost exactly our fourth birthday.
Oh my
That's
God, when is the actual day?
I think it was May 16th.
Oh my God.
okay. So we're a Taurus.
Yes. That makes sense for us, I think.
I can feel that. I feel
I
like
think,
I was eating with Kayla, and I remember it being sunny outside.
yeah.
That's all I remember.
Well, and I think that we like kind of our brand a little bit is like grounded luxury sky. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Totally. If I had to pick three buzzwords for us, I think it would be those three.
Yeah.
And it's
Thank
nice
you. Thank
that
you.
if now it's indeed our birthday, then this is our belated birthday episode.
Yeah. Oh
Because
God. Well,
right
y'all,
now,
happy birthday.
happy birthday, guys. Well, cheers to that.
Happy
Yeah.
birthday.
And I have a gravity bong, so it's kind of like I'm cheersing.
You have the gravity bong that looks so beautiful, and
I
I'm
know
just
it's the only, since I
now.
just moved, it's the only smoking thing that I have that I can find right now.
It's beautiful.
Thank you. Thank
Show it
you.
for the camera really quick.
Oh yeah, it's truly for an adult. It kind of looks just
Whoa.
like a vase perhaps.
Yeah.
Imagine my coffee table if you can imagine. So it's an amber glass from Next Glass Products or whatever. NXT, I think.
Just a little bit of LA to bring to Kentucky with you.
Exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
So, as you can tell, we're loose and vibing on the witching hour. We're talking about astrology and all these things that we take so seriously and also not seriously at all. And we love each other, and we want you to be comfortable too. So, if you want to just do whatever you have to do to be comfortable in your environment and chill with us and grab a blanket or a drink or, anything like that. Kayla, should we take a deep breath together to just get
We'd
everybody
love to start getting grounded. So let's take a deep breath in. So whenever you're ready.
just all together like in yoga?
And whenever you feel ready, just let that exhale out. I'm actually going to take one more. Maybe if you're feeling like it, one deep inhale in,
Hmm.
and maybe this time on a sound that makes you feel powerful, let it out. And with this breath,
Yes.
now
Now,
we
I.
fly.
Oh, we can hear the music this time. It's not like a heart attack.
Beautiful.
Shout out
Wonderful.
to Mila D'Amelio.
Yes. Oh my
Oh,
Yeah.
God. Our
and freaking
in-house
us out.
composer.
You know, like 24 hours. She's like, here's some music for you.
Yeah. Also, sorry, I'm so purple. I'm giving like alien a little bit.
I really
I
like
love
it. I
it.
wasn't going to
Yeah.
comment on it because I like the contrast.
Yeah, this is what it looks like when I get really sunburnt a little bit.
Wow. Coming from LA to Kentucky. Yeah, Kayla's in Kentucky now. I'm still in Chicago, but here and today we're both in outer space, baby.
And here today, we're both in space. I love it. Well,
Wow.
I'm
You
glad
know,
we're all here. I'm glad we all made it safely through that. What do you feel like we go through? Like some kind of like space continuum situation?
yeah, what do they call it in like, you ever see 2001: A Space Odyssey when he goes
Yeah.
through the rainbow? I think they call it the Rainbow Tunnel, the Rainbow
But
Bridge.
I
The
think that's
Rainbow
what it is.
Tunnel is what's at O'Hare Airport, which is same vibe, honestly.
Which
I
we
think,
also have all
you
been
know,
through.
yeah,
That's true.
you know, we can actually land on that probably is I think it's a little like going through the big light up tunnel at O'Hare Airport when you're a kid at like 4 in the morning with your family and you're a little bit. It's like,
Oh my God, you're disassociating from the family travel, you know what I mean? And just like trying to see anything
yeah.
beautiful.
Like in your memory, you can only see the like neon lights, and you're like, I think I remember that.
Yeah.
That's us, baby. Welcome to the witching hour. I'm excited to. I feel like this is kind of a mishmash of like, not just to say we missed last month's episode because of my fault for technical issues, but it was also my birthday month and Taurus season and everything, and I was pretty bummed. So I think this is a little bit of a catch up from that.
Yeah.
We'll talk about what's going on right now, but I did want to ask just to like catch up to now. How was your Taurus season? Do you feel like you got that grounded energy? Do you feel like easy pleasures? I love that Taurus season is like right at the tail end of spring into summer. That feels very right.
Yeah.
Um, so anyway, how do you feel like your Taurus season went?
I feel like it went really well. I was kind of like we drove from LA to Kentucky and we had like a little road trip moment. That was so it was like really nice and grounding. And I was telling him, we were texting, we stopped in New Mexico for a week and I am obsessed. Everyone go to New Mexico right now is what I would say tourist season taught me.
Mm.
It is magical. I think that's where magic was invented. It was spiritual, it was calm, it was cool. I really enjoyed my time there. So I think, and that was most of my tourist season. So I think it was really nice, but I'm glad that I moved during tourist season because I think it gave me a little bit more of the grounding that I needed to make a crazy transition, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. What about you? How was your birthday? How are you feeling?
I feel good. I feel very I had such a tumultuous Aries season leading into Taurus season that I was not thinking about my birthday very much. And this thing happened that has happened a few times where like it all just came together at the last minute. And I feel very fortunate to have like friends who like a week before my birthday I was like, I'm gonna have a housewarming birthday party and the fact I don't know. I feel very lifted up by my buddies in that way. I feel like Aries season was very like I like just a lot of new things in my life. I started a new job. I ended a long-term relationship. I moved into a new apartment. Started school. Like all these like new things, and feel it like tear my life into pieces. And then Taurus season, I think like so I was just like up, 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 and then I felt very like back I want to say back to my roots, or just like back into feeling like myself. I feel like I settled into my new place and like all these things started to become routine, but also I was like, okay, but not everything is new. I still have my friends and I'm in the same city and I'm in the same pleasures and the same I don't know. I feel like I reconnected I connected both pieces together, the new and the old, a little bit in Taurus season. That felt good. And so like now I feel like hot boy pleasures, summer, whatever, all, everyone's like Tauruses are all about simple, easy pleasures. Absolutely. This Taurus season was a little bit about the opposite, the hard work of it all. And then now I feel like ready for hot boy summer.
Yes. It feels like it's so funny as I was listening to you, what you describe was making me be like, oh my God, yeah, that's what it feels like to grow up. Did you feel like you're like, oh my God, I'm growing?
Absolutely. Like a microcosm of that. Or like,
Yeah.
some people like, it's like, oh, it's the life and death cycle all over again, playing out again. It's like, oh, right, we do go through that same over and
Over
over,
and over again until
over
we
and
then
over
die
again.
and then do it again. What are you talking about?
Every time, again and again and again. And then and then like, this isn't new, actually.
I saw
I
this.
actually Oh, sorry, really quick. I found this in my pocket when I was and this is like a little too on the nose. I will preface that with this, but I was moving and I found in this pair of pants that I hadn't worn in a while, I found literally my recovery chip from this mental health program I did some years back. And it has the Serenity Prayer on one side, and then on the other side it says recovery is discovery is recovery is discovery in a loop.
Oh,
Um,
oh,
and I found that as I was moving, after all of these things, and at the time I did think I was like, okay, if like whoever's writing this is like it's a little trite, but I get it. Thank you.
but
Yeah.
always true, always sound, always true.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, what were you going to say?
Oh, nothing. That was way more important. I was gonna say I saw a meme the other
Tell
day
me about the meme.
that I like, and it was like, I don't trust old souls because why haven't you escaped how do you say that? You know what I'm talking
Samsara.
about? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because
And
why?
I was
Yeah,
like,
exactly. Absolutely. We're young and old again.
yeah,
Yeah, it's the same. Honestly, we both just said the same thing. Uh,
exactly. And I loved it. It was like because I love when memes come together with something actually serious and helpful. You know what I mean?
I think memes they can be deep, or like the message can be just said differently of like something some scholar said, but it's the same idea. And do I have another example? No. No, I
Well, I was
don't.
gonna say my therapist would always because they would laugh at my jokes when I was funny and then they would not when I was not funny, you know?
Huh.
And they
Yeah,
would always be like, it's okay that I laugh at you because I understand that the way that you digest trauma or drama and stuff in your life is through laughing. And I would never want you to choke. And I was like, yeah,
Wow.
you know what I mean? So sometimes you need a medium to digest it all through.
absolutely. Oh, I'm trying to find this one quote from The Sopranos. I'm so sorry. Um,
Okay, I do have
was
to
it?
admit something here online. If we're talking about The Sopranos while you're doing that,
Yeah,
I have never seen it and I refuse to watch it, but I've seen it all on TikTok. Does that make sense?
totally, absolutely. I think you can get the gist of the show.
Yeah, and I like know who dies. I know how they die. It seems sad. The ending, I would be kind of pissed too if I was that dedicated, you know?
I should say, I am currently rewatching The Sopranos for like maybe the third or fourth time. It always happens during tourist season. And so
Sometimes you have those shows, they just come back to you.
you know what? And you can sense by the fact that I'm wearing a white blazer that I'm watching The Sopranos.
It's really
And this
getting into your
season,
mentality. Wait,
all right,
Val, have
I'm
you
gonna
ever
say
seen The Sopranos?
No, I haven't, but I also through like pop culture, stuff have basically got the gist of it. I do want to watch it at some point, but there's just so many shows on my list and now more than ever because I have a baby,
Yeah.
it is so hard to watch television.
Just sit her down and watch The Sopranos.
people did say it's like the show that you could watch with your family.
That's so true. You guys are
Yeah.
right.
So,
Well, what's funny is like she's so smart. Like if she was like a normal baby, I could maybe do that and she wouldn't know what was going on, but she's like too smart that she'll be like, "Why is that person shooting that other person?"
that's the only kind of babies we accept here. The smartest kind. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Im is the resident soprano
I'm the
critic.
resident soprano.
Yeah, exactly. Did you find the quote you were looking for?
I did, and it's so past its relevancy in this conversation
Oh,
now. But
just say it. Wait, come
It's
on.
this part, well, there are generally some good because it's about Tony Soprano's this mob boss that goes to therapy. That's the conceit of the show. That's in episode one. So there are some good general moments of this where like his therapist says something in a very clinical way. He says it in another. It's the same. Um, but there's a quote in the show where AJ, his son, is talking to his friend who says, Jean-Paul Sartre said, man is condemned to be free. That's all you need to know. And AJ just goes, bitch, be a leader, not a follower. Master P. And so that was just to me where they're saying
Ooh.
the same thing. Um,
Wise, wise.
And that's the witching hour in a bottle.
Absolutely. Wow. Well, we're really kind of already off on it, but we're starting our journey here. We're on our journey here. But you know what I really like to like pull for my journey, something I like to have, is a little something grounding. I am a Taurus, as we said. So I like something that grounds me, it makes me feel like the earth is on my side. So,
Yeah. Are you maybe talking about a herb of the day?
and this is
Ta-da!
actually you who chose this one, so tell us about
It
Mother.
is. And I did choose it last month, but I feel like to go along with the Taurus vibes, like it's kind of this herb is associated with the Empress, which is the tarot card associated with Taurus. So I picked this one because it's said to be a heart opening herb ruled by Venus, which also Taurus is, right? Taurus is ruled by Venus. Am I crazy?
That makes sense to me. And also I have I have Venus placement, so that makes sense to me.
Hell yeah. Okay. Motherwort comes from the Latin term for lion heart because it's all about like that heart chakra, that energy that really like helps you lead forward in your lives. So it can be used for heart health, digestion, and has anti-inflammatory properties that can contribute to less anxiety in the body so that you can spend more time protecting yourself and your other tribe. And I just thought that was beautiful.
It is beautiful. And how do you do you steep
I
it?
look, you can make a tincture, you can make a tea, and I think you can smoke it, but more research probably needs to be done with that.
Totally.
Yeah. But
I,
they said it's a very ancient herb. People have been using it for thousands and thousands of years, and they mainly it's called motherwort because they gave it to mother figures throughout history. Because again, that heart, it feels like if it built your heart, then you could stronger protect like whoever you were living with, your village, your tribe, anything like that. Which I guess something about that made me want to cry.
it's so nurturing. It's very Empress. It's very relevant. Mother is such a in the zeitgeist right now. I was thinking recently, I'm like, what does it even mean? Has that meaning shifted? Um, do we all need like when you think of the Empress, is there any person or celebrity or a person in your life that like pops into your head that embodies that? I was trying to think.
So interesting. I really, when I think of mothers, I think of my mom, but beyond that, I think of my friends that are mothers. Like I feel like I'm at the age where I do know a lot of people who are moms now, and being able to be that age and see their journey, I think has made me I think it has made my heart stronger.
Mm.
Like, I mean, Val, recently a mom, happy belated Mother's Day, by the way.
Thank you.
But my friend, I will shout out one of my favorite people in the entire world, Caitlin, is a mom of three, like had two kids during the pandemic. Wait, one kid during the pandemic. The first kid was maybe like one or two when the pandemic started, and then just recently had another child. And I just think she's like one of my closest friends and somebody I really look up to. And just her journey of being a mom, but still maintaining who she is as a person, I think has made me understand femininity also, like what being feminine and what that means to me differently as I'm like deconstructing my own gender and what that means. I really don't think I'm explaining how much I really deeply care about this person. So I do think when I think about mother, I think of Caitlin very like strongly.
I love that. I
Yeah.
think that's
I
very
think y'all
like
know Caitlin too. Caitlin Grogan,
I've met
perhaps.
Caitlin,
I don't know
yeah.
if you do. I don't know if Val does, but she is a comedic genius also. But I think to be a mom, you kind of have to be.
You
Yeah.
certainly can't have any shame.
Yes. Yes. And the way too, she has also like redefined her body and like what it means to have a body has been, I feel like just so honored to be able to like have watched her be on that journey,
Mm.
Yeah. What do you have somebody in that you think of?
I started thinking of some fictional characters that I don't know if I want to share or not.
Oh, well, I do. If I was being honest, it would be like some of the Real Housewives raised me. I'll be for real about that.
Totally. Or like, okay, real character. Or actually, I was also thinking of like celebrities that we like, or like certain people like call like mother too, and it's like for
Mm.
different reasons. But it's like also like, are you kind of asking like you do kind of need a mother, or like maybe like my one of my first thoughts was like Lady Gaga has the whole thing of like My Little Monsters, or like she kind of like right out the gate was like before we were like mother, like that is kind of what she was embodying, or I think what she wanted to do. And I think she like, because I know she learned a lot from like drag mothers, and so that whole
Ah,
concept, so I guess I was thinking along that line a little bit, or like I'm looking at like the Empress, like it's traditional like illustration on like the Rider Waite, where she's just kind of like kind of like a queen but of her people, and she's like outside and surrounded by nature and very like grounded with it. So I don't know. That was my first thought, but
ah.
there's a lot of ways to take it. As long as
Yeah. Well,
you feel
and
like
like
nurtured.
I think part of the healing journey too is like remothering yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Regardless of how good your actual mother or whoever that was to you in your life.
Yeah, like anything or anyone that's like you have everything you need, everything's gonna be okay. Come here, let me give you a hug. Like that's
Yeah.
the encompassing, I think. That's what I think of when I think of
Yeah. Yeah. Because I think this might be off topic, but I will share. I think I've been doing also a lot of like ancestral work and generational work. And I think too, something about my generational family about mothering yourself is like taking away shame of what it is to be a mother to people as well. Which I think as somebody who I don't want kids, I don't think being a actual mother in that sense is in my cards for this life. Just what not in a very neutral way about it. So I do always think about what that means. What does motherhood mean to me when I might not have a lot of the traits that traditional mothers would have?
But also, what are you know what I mean?
I was about to say, yeah.
we're that's kind of going out the window anyway, right? Because I mean, in my house, for example, like some of the stereotypical things that you would associate with like mothers or like wives or whatever is stuff that Michael predominantly does, like it's not, I don't know. I think that like there's some things obviously like literally growing the kid and having them that like men just can't do, but like biological men. But like I can't uh uh I can't I can't think of like a thing that is sort of like a stereotype of like a mother that like I exclusively do.
Mm.
Was there, and tell me, you can also be like, pass. Was there a time that you were like, do you remember the first time you were like, I feel like a mother? Or is that something that never comes, or does it come? How do you feel about that?
Hmm. Um I think that like honestly like hearing Alice call me mama is probably like one of the big ones because like even if it's just my name to her, you know what I mean? Like there isn't like something specific attached to it that's like different meaningfully for her from dada. Like her calling me mama like gives me that like title. You know what I mean? Like makes me her mom. So there's definitely that. And then like um I think anytime I've been able to like teach her something or like comfort her when she's been sick or hurt or sad, I think those are like the times that I sort of think to myself, like, okay, this is like what I wanted from my mom and like what I can give her. Um, and just sort of like that patience and that fun too. Like my mom's a very serious person. And so like we didn't really like laugh together or like play. And so like I really enjoy like basically just shared time with her.
Mm.
Yeah. Oh my
Totally.
gosh. I can't wait for you to be coaching her improv team.
Well, Michael
Yeah,
is
she's a Nepo
base
baby in the improv world.
Michael's basically said she's not allowed to be an improviser.
Honestly, I get it. Honestly, I get
Yeah, hey, it's you're not new improvisers are born every single day, and
it.
you
She
can't control it.
she won't like whenever she knows people are watching her or like a camera is on her, she immediately stops doing whatever it was that she was doing. So she's definitely not the type of person who gets like validation from other people seeing her do the thing,
That
which
is
is
Okay.
so
fun.
healthy.
Yeah.
Wish we could
Okay.
breathe that out. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
somebody I'll trust with social media for once. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
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 It's
Oh
sweet.
my God.
Uh, yeah.
Well,
So
and that's everything to discuss on motherhood. No, just kidding.
yeah, we've answered the question.
We've answered, I
Answered the
think,
What
all the
is
questions
question.
motherhood?
we set out to answer.
I don't think I have much to contribute, but I'm active listening to both of you.
Yeah.
And thank you for that. And thank you for asking. That was very nice.
Yeah.
I love
Well, I
talking
think
about
it's always
Alice.
so interesting. Like I said, I really love the mothers that are like around me. So
Yeah.
I just think y'all are so I just love y'all. Thanks. Thanks.
Thank you, mothers. No, for yeah, like I don't know, like you were saying, like what are mother traits? I I think it's very different from when people are like, what are stereotypical feminine traits? Even though like we
Yeah.
always
Yeah.
be traditionally, and it's like mothers are fucking tough and strong, and they
Mm-hmm.
lift up, and they very selfless and just giving and like this like unstoppable force we have in our heads. Like when we like need something, we immediately, no matter how old we are, we're like, I need my mother." Um,
Yeah.
like absolutely I don't know. I was thinking about that difference. And also, if you ever read that thing about Ilana Glazer has this thing that they talk about where they said that being pregnant is part of what helped them realize they were non-binary, and they talk about like embodying like both feminine and masculine qualities in that way and finding motherhood. And like they, of course, they have
Yes.
really nice, cool, eloquent things to say about that.
Mm-hmm.
But that just reminded me of that.
That's
Yes.
cool.
That's what
Yeah.
I feel like my
Like
friend
it is
Caitlin
both.
has talked about. She's not non-binary, but just it's wild what it does to your body and how then you have to face your body, I think, a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It seems like a different conversation from both like how you were supposed to be in like a feminine way or like even like as like the duties like a wife of like the perfect wife kind of thing where it's like, hey, the wife and the mother are same person, but it seems like you have different expectations of
Mm-hmm.
both. Like, um,
I feel like the
anyway.
Venn diagram in like the 50s was like a circle and now it's like barely touching.
Yeah, yeah. Speaking of, do y'all watch The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives?
No.
No.
Yeah.
Fascinating case study is what I'd say.
Oh boy.
Fascinating case study.
Hmm.
Yeah. If you're ever
Um,
bored and just need to binge something, I wouldn't put it on the top of your list, but it's insane.
Yeah. And with that, that's everything there is to say about
Yeah.
mothers.
So, of course, remember if you do want to partake of the mother wort, right? Yes. Oh my God. Go ahead and do your research because sex safety is
It is
sexy.
sexy. And we've always said that.
That's
Um,
what we talk about all the time.
Kayla, can I show you? I know, so we usually do a little spread together, and usually we do tarot. But can I show you? And we don't have to use this, but it was my birthday recently because I'm a Taurus, famously, and my sweet friend Emma got me this oracle deck.
No, I don't
Whoa.
mean to be crazy, but we were already mind melding because I was like, we should do an oracle pull today. And I had actually only pulled out my oracle card. So hell yes, I'm
Wow.
on the same page.
I wish you could see it more clearly, but it's an animal oracle deck, and the illustration is lovely. And it has I this is my first oracle deck that I've been gifted. So
Have you
pretty
used it
impressive.
before?
I've been doing some daily single pulls with it. I don't know if you
Okay,
do. It's mostly for single pulls, right? Or do you do
I
spreads with
think
it?
whatever you want. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I was
For
going to say for the audience,
yeah.
can you tell us how you feel differently about them or how they're different?
Yeah, I mean, my understanding is that it's very specific to the deck, and it's more of like a guidance. There's certain messages. There's certain like this one has like the ethos of like animals as spiritual guides in a way, and so each one is an animal and like the message that it has to give. And it can also be like it runs the gamut. I know, like Kayla, I think you have like a Barbie one. I so. Yeah, I know that it's just like I take I do single draws and I try to have that be the focus for the day. But
Yes.
yeah.
I love to use them as a single draw too, or sometimes I will use them to help clarify a tarot pull. Because one of my favorite things about tarot is obviously it's open to interpretation and intuition and what is happening in that current moment. But oracle cards are kind of a little bit more set in stone, even though they can be a variety of different messages and stuff, right?
Yeah. It almost feels like a reminder deck kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like there's not a message in there I don't know, but and just like tarot, I think like you draw it and then whatever it immediately makes you think of or whatever resonates you from that card is obviously what's something you need to process through or something. Um, yeah, you make the meaning from it, from your reaction.
Yeah.
So I've been really enjoying it a lot,
I
and
love that.
I would love to do a little draw with you guys.
Yes, we would
Let's
be
do it.
honored.
Do you wanna? Okay. How about I'll start shuffling the deck and we'll talk about, I don't know, what our intentions are, what we're thinking about together.
Yeah.
We're going into Gemini season.
I was just gonna say, I wonder if there's something about like something we can take from Taurus season that will help us in Gemini season. Is that crazy?
I think that's just crazy enough to work. Well, it is the
That's
day
crazy
before,
enough to work.
right on the cusp. And I
Yeah.
think personally, I've been swinging wildly from one extreme to the other lately. So
Listen,
maybe,
that's showbiz, babe. Yeah.
so let's see what we want to carry into. All right. Interesting. Okay.
Oh.
So we have pulled, let me see what the name of it is. It appears to be a little panther. He is at a watering hole, and there's a little vase above him. It's pouring water, and it says, "Nourish the shadow." Let's see what this
Oh.
actually is, y'all. 33. Each of them has a number.
33 is one
Okay,
of my
so
numbers.
to the jaguar. 33. Nourish the shadow. This is a jaguar. We've got water. We've got water. Jaguar represents the shadow, the subconscious aspects of ourselves we push away. All right, shadow work. Let's
Okay.
fucking go. Carl Jung says, dab.
Yeah.
These aspects usually stem from situations we encountered as children that lead us to feel shame, unworthiness, abandonment, and then we live out these program beliefs as adults. So the jaguar comes out to speak to us about nourishing our shadow. And in this image, we see her drinking from this well of wholeness. The well in this image, inspired by a Jungian analyst, okay, is our place of nourishment and absolute wholeness. Water is where all life comes from. Many of us ignore and starve our shadow. I don't need to read this whole thing, but um, she howls and cries for nourishment, yet we still ignore her. Ironically, if you would begin a relationship with her, you'd find that she's your greatest asset and leads to you fulfilling your life's purpose. Create a self-talk relationship with yourself, ride the weight of hurt. Um, wow. Wow. Very relevant to what we were talking about.
Yeah, I'm into
Nourishment,
it. I felt
nourishing
like
our
honestly
shadow.
that was a little pointed. I thought it was a little rude to me.
It's a little, we didn't need to be read so hard,
Yeah,
but
don't piss me off?
nourish your jaguar. You have to face your shadow. If you witness her, she will start showing you a new and indestructible power within, blah, 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 blah. So that's probably nothing. We don't need to talk about that anymore.
Yeah, it's probably nothing to any of us and something we should just continue to ignore, like the card definitely didn't say to not do.
That whole thing. God damn it. I saw not I think shadow work is very real and very important. And I think it's been like it's like such a buzzword and like do you get the ads for like the apps? It's like shadow work as an app.
What?
And I get target I see this like on Instagram or just online and I'm just like it's so gross to me. Or like it's been so I'm tempted to download it and see just exactly what it is that they're trying to do through an app form.
Like to
So,
me, is it not just like a journal? Like, you know what I mean? Like if it's anything
yeah,
beyond journal prompts, then what is going on?
yeah. And I think I'm still figuring out what shadow work means to me. I know
Ooh.
it's confronting the undesirable parts of yourself, and it makes me think of that whole thing where the things that you hate in others are often the things that you actually really don't like about yourself as well.
Mm,
Um, and that we are all not just one thing, right? We are all
Yeah.
different things, fragments, and you need to um like I guess like recently I ended a long-term relationship semi recently, and I think that for me what was really hard is like telling myself that I deserve compassion after that. So I'm like, I'm a monster. Because like you have this vision of yourself, you're like, I'm a good person. I would never hurt anybody, and I'm just gonna be a good person, so I'll never hurt anybody. And then unfortunately, people it doesn't work that way. And by being in community and in society, you bump up against each other and hurt each other in big and small ways all the time. And but it's like that ego of like, I'm a good person though. It's like you can't reconcile it. So I guess that's what it makes me think of like,
Yeah.
yeah, I did do like I ended a relationship and I'm sad about it and I hurt this other person too. We're both like, I don't know, it's such a hard thing to reconcile because then we feel
Yeah.
fragmented in that way. So that's what it's bringing up for me. Um,
Yeah.
and I think it's like being processed in waves for me.
Yeah. I think that's so, I resonate a lot with that. Because right before you started talking, I was like, what does that mean to me? And I feel like the first thing that came to my mind was shadow work to me is just like doing the work to really just come to terms with myself, like come to terms with that I am good and I am bad, that I am nice and I am, you know what I mean? And like the meanness came from somewhere, the anger, the sadness came from somewhere, and to kind of like not hold myself like to still hold my in a way to still hold myself accountable, but to also be like, yeah, and it's okay, and that doesn't like define you. Because if I let all of these things define me in that way, then that is what the shadow is, right? That like holds you back, that like stops you from seeing the sun, and the sun deserves to see the wholeness of you, right?
Totally. And I think maybe the hardest part is the others, like, your shadow isn't all that defines you. True. So that also means that like the things you like about yourself are also not everything that
Yes,
defines you. Like you can't just be
exactly.
like, all right, and this is me.
And
Um,
this is it. I'm picking and
and this is
choosing.
it, starting now.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like shadow work is different for every person, right? But it's like just about really digging deeper into like why you are the person you are and how that is like acceptable. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I have a couple people in my life who have just started their Saturn returns recently and are kind of
Good
freaked.
fucking luck.
I think
Is what I'll
good
say to
fucking
that.
luck. I think it goes right along with this. I think this is exactly the kind of thing you start to face. I think that's
Yeah.
just kind of older too.
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
it's interesting. We were talking about being a mother, what that is, and one thing that Michael catches me because sometimes I have like negative self talk. Just the stuff that's
Yeah.
been programmed in me for a very long time. And Michael will say, "Just remember, she can hear you."
Wow.
Oh, okay, Michael. He said, I actually see your shadow and we will be breaking it down.
Wow, Michael, giving out the tough love.
Dang. But
I love it.
that is what it is, you
Right.
know?
Like, every parent's like every parent is going to mess up in their own special ways, right? Like there's no way to raise a human being and not leave marks on them, but like the goal is to not leave the same marks that were
Yeah.
left on you, right? And so like one of mine is body image stuff, right? And so like if Michael catches me saying something bad about myself, uh he will just remind me that Alice can hear me, and I do not want Alice to feel that way about herself. And for whether I want it or not, I am her model, right? Like when she looks at me, she sees like theoretically like what she will grow into. Now obviously there are a lot of factors that could potentially change that over time, but like in the most basic intrinsic sense, that is what it is. And so like I have to be really really careful about how I like openly perceive myself, because that is how she will perceive herself, not how she will perceive me. And
Yeah.
so like that's like a great reminder. And like that's a really obvious like physical one, but like there's so many things like that that, you know, this sort of, you know, what you're talking about that come to light kind of when there's a kid, because like, you know, when I went through a phase where like Alice kind of like rejected me a lot, and she like only wanted Michael, and that brought up like a ton of insecurities, right? Like obviously. And you know, like stuff that is always right under the surface, but that would probably I probably could have just gotten through the rest of my life without like fully addressing. But then like
Yeah.
she forced the issue, you know?
Yes.
So like being a parent,
That's
I feel like is just this all the time.
That's what my friend Caitlin that I was talking about earlier, that is what she said was one of the most profound things about being a mother. She was like, you know, you think you have addressed things in your life, and then you have a kid, and you're like, holy shit. No, I have not.
Not in the slightest.
Yeah. Yeah.
Holding a mirror up to you.
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, good luck. You're doing a great job, soldier.
Yeah, well, hopefully I'll do the minimal amount of damage. That's the
Yeah.
goal.
Yes, it is. You already are, right? Every generation has their new thing to face. I will say, I know that we're like just chit-chatting so much, but I do love y'all, and but I do want to share this one thing. While I was in I'm still in, it's ever going. But when I was really, really working on some shadow work earlier this year, I was doing like meditation, like my therapist journal prompts, and then I was also doing Reiki, which some people believe in and some people don't. I think whatever. Don't fight me about it. I'm not going to fight you about it if you don't believe in it. You know what I mean? But it was very real to me. And I do feel like that in that realm of finding something that made me feel like I could open up those dark, shadowy parts of myself, sometimes having like that little extra woo woo push. I have never experienced anything like that. And it opened myself up and made me forgive myself and like resolve some shame in ways that I did not even know were possible for me. It was wild. So if anybody's looking into how to get into shadow work, I would say there's tons of online resources that of course need to be vetted, but I would start with journal prompts. And then if you want to do body work, I think those two things together are both really good entrances to shadow work.
Hmm.
I like the connection to body. I think doing my like that's been a lot of my work recently, just in like how much the body does carry. And
Yeah.
like, you know, you can't actually like think your way out of everything.
Hmm.
It'd be nice if you could. You're like, it's all in my mind. Like I know the guy who wrote The Body Keeps the Score like ended up being a terrible person, but like it is
They
true.
always do, but we got to take knowledge from somewhere, you know?
Absolutely. So yeah, I would be interested. Let's talk
Yeah.
more.
Well, okay, I will hype somebody. It's Sarah Mitchell, a former Chicago improv person. If you message her on Instagram, I'm sure she would be more than happy.
Okay.
She's awesome.
An official shout out.
There we go. Official shout out. Not sponsored.
That's sponsored. That was wow, that was a very relevant Oracle
Oh,
deck.
we got really deep, y'all. We
Got
can't
really
have this
deep.
much time apart because we just have so much to chat about.
Truly.
Absolutely. And you know, I think we should just roll right into just a regular old tarot spread just for old time's sake.
Yeah.
While we're just on a roll, right? We
Yeah,
did
while we're on a roll,
red.
speaking of rolling, this kind of has some rolling to do with it. You know what I mean? A
Mhm.
roll with the hay, perhaps?
Hmm.
Is that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. This is one of our favorite spreads. Sorry, I forgot where we were
No,
first.
I was just like, am I
Oh
not
yeah,
making
I think
any
you know, this is one of our favorite spreads, and you often find three card spreads in tarot, like past, present, future, situation, action, outcome. This is our favorite spread, and we invite you to do it with us tonight. This is Fuck, Mary Kill.
Hell yeah. And we take this very
Very
serious. Whatever
serious.
you say here in the chat, in your hearts and your mind, is what we will be doing this week.
Yes.
Yeah.
We want you to like commit to what you say. That's a rule of improv that we both learned through the thousands of classes we took together. And we want you to just learn that lesson. Whatever you say, you have to commit to.
Mhm. Commit to the bit and the tarot spread.
Yeah. This is a spread that I found for last month as like as a very Taurusy one. This is the botanical tarot deck. So those are the very Georgia O'Keeffe kind of drawings that we have for us today.
Ooh.
Um, what did I have as the first one? Oh yeah, our first one, we're starting off really strong. with the Ace of Wands. Um, and I like that it's looks like kind of like an agave plant that we have here.
Mm.
The wand coming out of it, new beginnings, very exciting.
You
Um,
know,
kind
something
of
about
sad
this
if you
agave
think about
plant,
it.
every time I see one in real life, it really reminds me that dinosaurs were real. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
It
Yeah.
makes me, and I think that that kind of goes with the Ace of Wands. It's like very strong. Is that crazy to say? You know
No,
what
very strong and very like it, all the wands are, but especially this one, it is very phallic, I will say.
I was
Yeah.
just gonna say that's all I can see.
So it's just a big old
Okay, Val.
pointer.
Sorry.
It's just a big old prick, and it's proud, and it's a very
But I love that. So
useful,
we all
fragile
need a
way.
big old prick. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like once in our lives, at least, we all need one big prick.
sure. And I think very like this guy, he's like in the best way cocky,
Yeah.
literally.
Yeah.
And you like that sometimes, and you need
Yeah.
that sometimes.
Yeah. And I
So
do kind of like that maybe the leaves are protecting the cockiness. So it's like that's like the surprise element. So like you kind of gotta get through like maybe like the foreplay to get the main action,
Hmm.
yeah,
perhaps.
perhaps. Who's to
Okay,
say? That's all
thinking
we're
about
saying.
it. Thinking about
Think
it.
about it. And we're followed up pretty strongly with strength, of course, speak of
Wow.
speak of
Oh,
strength, speak of, and I don't exactly know what kind of
It says
flower this is. Oh, it's
echinacea.
echinacea. That's what it is.
Echinacea.
echinacea. What a healing. Echinacea is like heal like when you are, it's like for immunity, right?
Right. And it's kind of goes with that idea of like strength, me being not just like the lion in the
Right.
tale,
It's
but
so
like
soft.
all kinds of strength. This is giving you strength. This is healing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of sexy. I feel like strength is like if where the Ace of Wands is like young, cocky, super peacocking, strength has a little bit more of like a quiet confidence maybe to them,
Mhm.
in which I am very attracted to.
Yes, like a little bit
Like
of mystery.
totally, but they're just super confident and
Mm.
good with themselves, but like they don't necessarily feel the need to flaunt it. But you just see it in small ways. I think that's so, I'm like, oh, you're just so controlled. That's really hot.
Yes. Okay, and I have a crazy interpretation
Both
that
are
just
hot
popped up.
in different ways. Yeah.
Okay, it's like being pollinated, so like strength in numbers as well.
Hmm.
So maybe into play parties.
Into play
Maybe,
parties,
you know what I'm trying to say?
into some group sex and some orgies and some absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But this
Community.
seems like the core unit, you know?
Yeah. Okay. So that's our strength. And then we also have the Hierophant, just to throw in a little alternative there. So lemon balm, also very healing, also very spiritual, very ritual, very but I don't think necessarily like organized religion is what I'm necessarily getting. Like,
Oh. It's more like I feel like this plant is like growing through the ruins, so it's almost like ancient knowledge, right? Or like ancient knowledge that we still need because like lemon balm, right, is like also like it can be used for like skin healing, I believe. Like the tincture of it is for like, right? Maybe wound healing. Maybe I'm crazy, but that's what's coming to my head. So it's also like this traditional back to the basics. You know what I mean?
yeah, I know that it's like very like antiseptic and yeah, like ancestral wisdom kind of thing. Very like what was the meme about the old soul? This would be the old soul.
Yeah, this would be the old one. I'd say, okay, maybe good at sex, but why have you not moved on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
Interesting. This is a good spread. I'm
This
a
is
little,
tough.
I am feeling like unsure about this one.
I do also feel very conflicted, and I think usually we both have a pretty knee-jerk reaction. So,
Yeah. Yeah. I
um,
think, I do know who I'm gonna marry. It's just kind of a toss up between fucking kill.
I think I have my answer, but I'm not totally okay. But I think I'm gonna marry strength. I think that's my ride or die. And I think here's what I'm gonna say, and this is just for me personally, and here's the circumstance of why. just coming out of a long-term relationship and kind of stepping into a little bit of a slutty summer. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm in a little bit of that phase, and I haven't really had like a hot slutty phase really before. I like came out after I don't know. So it's been interesting, and it's summer.
Yes.
So with that in mind, I think that I'm going with the Ace of Wands as my fuck. It just seems to line up with me for right now. Who's to say what I would say in a different scenario? So unfortunately, I'm killing the Hierophant, which feels so wrong too, but it feels wrong killing any of them.
See, I do think that you have convinced me because at first I was gonna switch and kill the ace because I am just like so annoyed by like men like that or like that young energy has been pissing me off lately. But now I'm gonna reframe it. I'm gonna reframe it and maybe I'll use that energy for the summer and because I don't want to be boring. So I actually am you really convinced me to change it and I agree with you.
Wow. Okay. Again, I was just speaking for myself, but I'm
Oh,
glad that
I
I
agree.
still maybe that's why I convinced you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You were so convincing, and I also want to have fun. So I am an easy flip-flopper. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Hey, we're both killing our ancestral wisdom to have fun this summer. Fuck
Listen,
yeah.
sometimes you gotta. After you do the shadow work, you're allowed to have fun.
You're allowed to have fun. Gemini season.
Yes. Sky Mommy, what are you choosing?
Okay, I am fucking strength because
Okay.
as you were describing strength, um, like I'm honestly not attracted to all that many men anymore, but one that I am eternally attracted to is Pedro Pascal. And as you were describing, like the sort of quiet confidence, like that is just all I could think of. Him in that sleeveless number he wore to Cannes or wherever he was the other day. Um, yeah, I was just like, yep, that's my strength. So I'm definitely, but he doesn't strike me as a commitment guy. He like
Yeah,
is
I
never in a relationship. So that's a fuck for me. I'm gonna I'm gonna marry the Hierophant.
okay.
And I'm killing the Ace of Wands because I don't have time for that shit. I just
I
don't.
get it.
Not at this
Yeah,
stage of
you're
my
a
life.
mom. You don't have time for
Absolutely.
yeah. Let
Absolutely.
him take care of it all summer. You know what I
I
mean?
got it.
Yeah.
Fuck him and then he's gone.
Yeah, he's got it. He's got it for us.
Having fun, dumping.
Oh my God, that's pretty good. That's
That
fine.
is great. Oh wow. And we've all kind of overlapped a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, we'll all be either at each other's weddings, funerals, visiting each other in jail, you know?
Mm-hmm.
We'll always have that connection.
We will.
Yeah. Well, thanks for playing,
Oh,
everybody. And as always, this is all real.
Yeah. You have to
This
do
is
and
all,
that.
as always, this is all real and
And
serious.
I get to fuck Pedro Pascal.
and Val
Yeah,
gets to fuck
and the
Pedro
easiest way is now is
Pascal.
fucking Pedro Pascal.
Pascal. It's a little contract. Wow. Well,
Wow.
we've got a couple. We had our we had our new moon in Taurus last month, but this month,
Sorry.
um,
It's okay. I love that song.
Gotta get you to the moon. There we go.
Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-do. Thanks again, Emilio, for creating that theme music. We really do appreciate it. Let us use it royalty free.
Yeah, so sweet.
Um, Anyway, there's always a moon thing to talk about every month because the moon goes on the same cycles over and over and over again. It's a nice thing to be able to rely on in these truly unstable times. It's a physical thing we can point to that controls the tides and our bodies. So,
And maybe a good way to work on some shadow work, start with a new moon, fill up, then reflect at the full moon, right? As we're the theme perhaps that we're finding in this show.
and certain things like eclipses, bringing certain energies. I don't think we had a string of months where every month was like this super rare blood super eclipse moon. Da 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 does once in a lifetime. Now we're back to kind of it seems like just the regular moon cycle.
Mhm.
Um,
Because
and
we're out of eclipse season, right? At least for right now.
yeah. And I know that next Monday is going to be a new moon in
Mhm.
Gemini, and Gemini
Gemini.
season starts in a couple of days, and very antithetical energy to Taurus season, grounding. Now we're going into like blah energy everywhere. Fun fact, I was almost a Gemini if I had been carried to term. Did I ever talk
Oh,
about that with you?
and you said I got to get out of here.
I said, nope. I said I said we can stop right here.
Yeah.
Right
Well,
in
and
torture
because I
season.
do love to bring up this fact anytime you and your twin.
Me and my twin brother.
Yeah.
Yes.
I sometimes I will forget that you're a twin and then I'll remember and it just makes me smile so hard.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like so special knowing a twin.
Hmm.
So
I feel it's all I've ever known. No other twins in my family, so I don't know. I don't know what that's all about.
you're special, you're magical. That's what it's about.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Mm.
And because
Uh,
I have never met your brother, you're technically the favorite twin.
from your point of view,
Yeah.
which is the only point that I care about.
Yeah. And
It's the
that's what
only
I'm
point that
spreading
matters to
everywhere. When
me.
I'm telling everybody, I'm like, don't worry, this will be your
And
favorite.
don't worry, we got the good one.
Yeah.
Thank you. Wow. Well, Josh, if you're watching, which I know you're not, because you're a doctor and you're
Sorry.
working nights.
Oh. Oh,
Oh,
like the pit. I don't know if y'all seen that. Ugh.
Oh,
I
So
haven't seen it.
it
Is it?
stressed me out.
it was good though. It was
It
real
was
good.
really good, but I was like, man, maybe doctors and nurses can just be mean all the time, is what I took away from that.
My mother was an ER nurse, and my sister is currently an ER nurse. My brother is currently a doctor working overnights, and he had to work in the ER for certain rounds. And my dad is also he's a doctor, but he has worked in the ER. Like they all just like have such a morbid sense of humor, and they
Yeah.
just get really n normalize it. I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't watch the show then. You lived it.
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't lived it at all. They have. Well, through them, I guess I have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
I
my
was
God.
I haven't done anything like that. They're all the
Uh,
uh but anyway, yeah, no, we have the new moon in Gemini coming up. And do you have any thoughts about that or any other surrounding astrological moon events?
no, that's what I'll be focusing on. I feel like I started getting into all the eclipses and stuff, and I was like, I need to take a step back because I also have OCD. So I kind of have to like check myself sometimes with how involved I get in things like that. So I am only focusing on this new moon. I'm trying to do different challenges for myself every moon cycle. So this new moon, I really think, even though it might be silly, I'm trying to not be on my phone 2 hours before I go to bed or
Mm.
Wow.
and have technology. So I feel like I'm using the moon that way. And I think that it's interesting. My mother, speaking of mothers, is a double Gemini. So that's who I was raised by. And I think Geminis kind of get a bad rap a little bit in like the meme astrology of it all because they have two heads, right? Which some people are like, oh, two-faced. But I really feel like the Geminis I know in my life just really know how to adapt to each situation. Like I almost feel like what you're
Mm.
kind of maybe talking about, like how the energy of Taurus goes into Gemini season. I feel like maybe there's some grounding and knowing yourself that then you can go out into the world and like adapt, not in ways that are lies to you, but in the way that we all adapt to different situations to stay safe or to get the job that we want or, to be the person we want to be in that way. And so I feel like that is kind of something that I'm focusing on is just like think about how I adapt, communicate, and move forward with new perspectives. And those always come from being within different communities and knowing different people within my communities, right? Like learning those different perspectives and not letting them take me over, but understanding how they're valuable to me understanding the world. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, I think like it's very much that those are the best qualities of Geminis I know is like getting out and being in the world and
And still being so themselves, you know
being
what I mean?
able
They
to
they know how
enact
to be like diplomatic, as in like
yeah,
what is worth it and what isn't worth it. What
like
is
they
who?
can talk to a lot of different kinds of people, I think. And so like
Yeah.
in a way they can gather like different sides of things.
Yeah. And I think that that makes them like a beautiful mosaic that sometimes get misunderstood by people.
Yeah. Aren't we
Wow.
all misunderstood in some ways?
Oh my God. Yeah. 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 I was
Uh,
thinking about that because also watching, sorry to keep bringing it up, but the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, they are all dealing, in my opinion, with religious trauma and maybe some manipulation, abuse from the church and stuff like that. And seeing them try to figure out like the ones that are so new in their healing journey, they really can only see black and white to where I think when they're around Gemini type people, they get really mad at them because they don't understand. Because I do think when you're in the newness of healing, you do need like those guardrails when you go bowling. You have to maybe have stricter things to realize and move forward. But it feels like to me, those are the people that jump on Gemini qualities because maybe it's misunderstood or not, you know,
Sure.
even
Or
just,
just the idea of being able to carry multiple things at once is
yeah,
really intimidating to some people. Things
especially
being
when
able
you're figuring yourself out.
And when you
yeah,
grew up in fundamentalism where you can't carry two truths at the same
Oh
time.
my God,
yeah,
yes. It's like heaven, hell. Like I feel honestly, a lot of the show is triggering but healthy, I think, for me in deconstructing my religious situations. But sometimes I'm like, oh dang, girl, you got to get out of that. It's sad.
yeah.
Hmm.
Check it out.
Yeah.
The thing that I had like brought in to talk about is very much related to that, if I may share. I was like carrying multiple things. So I actually brought in I instead of like a full moon kind of podcast, like I just brought in like these like facts that I have learned that I'm really excited about sharing, which feels very Gemini to me to do.
Yes.
And it also okay. Okay, so I'm gonna get into like I'm in school right now, and so I'm gonna get into a little bit of like no, it's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be good. Um,
I love learning. Education is fun.
my tagline for this to get into to like motivate you to stay with me here is like electricity is transgender. Here's why. Um,
I
there's
believe.
these okay, so this is going into we're going into Pride season and everything. And we're all trans and queer here in this space together. So there okay, so like when I talk if I say like semiconductors, do we like know generally what I'm talking about?
Generally, yeah.
I feel like I can see my old science book.
We've heard this term before. It's really like political right now because we need to be sourcing it. Like silicon is a semiconductor that's very like in demand. And it's like these things, it's these compounds or materials that can either like conduct or insulate. Depending on the circumstance, they can block or allow electricity. So they become these like terminals that are either like on or off, yes or no. And that's what we have for the basis of computing, which is like binary code. The like yes or no is when you see like 1 0 1 0 1 0 1, that whole thing. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like
Yes.
binary
Yes.
code.
Yes.
That's where that comes from. It comes from semiconductors. They have either one value or the other, either this or that. It's literally binary.
Hmm.
And that's what we use as the basis for increasingly complex computing. That's the basis. And now we have this thing called quantum computing that we've been studying that we've been you may have heard of, and it's like breaking the binary completely open because we're finding these exotic materials or just normal materials brought under extreme circumstances that are now exhibiting. Let me look at my notes to make sure I say it correctly because I also am baffled by this, and it's things we don't fully understand. But basically they can exist as multiple states at the same time is what we're finding.
Hmm.
How do we explain that? We can't quite, but it's like they are exhibiting, they're either like both on and off. They're like inductors and or sorry, insulators and conductors at the same time. So it's like multiple states of matter at the same time almost, or at least they can like make that happen temporarily. I don't know, they're like recreating this. They can't fully explain. They're calling it otherworldly, the way the particles are behaving. And it goes with like a lot of science where like the further you dig into subatomic particles, you can say what's happening and you can make laws of physics, but you can't explain fully why. And so this is just a case in point of like this literal binary we've had for years and years and years is actually like not the only thing. It's just one thing that we knew, and it's not the whole idea. So, yeah, that just, and when we broke the binary there, nobody got mad or called it unnatural or an abomination, playing God or anything like that. We're psyched because this is expanding our idea of science, not destroying it. So, I just thought going into Gemini season and also Pride season, where a lot of visibility brings a lot of different kinds of attention and people have really strong opinions disguised as facts and what's natural and what's not, just remembering like we are as natural as anything else. It's not just like a nice thing to say, it's actually true. So that just made me think of
But
that.
I'm just stating facts.
I'm just stating facts, like something like electricity and physics. These are like hard science laws, and we're finding new things about them. So even that is we don't know everything
That's
Yeah.
so
anymore.
cool.
Well, and if that's how the things are around us, then why would we also not be that same way? You know what I mean?
Totally. Yeah. And if you're clinging to those old things that like you're not if you're blocking yourself off to new things, it doesn't matter what you believe, you're going to be left behind. We are
Yeah.
continually finding new things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sorry, Charlie. Bye.
All right, Charlie, bye. This show on
Yeah. That
Twitch.
was actually really interesting. Thank you for
That
bringing that. Now
was.
I
Thank
know.
you for letting me rant about my special interest of this month. It
Well,
felt
listen,
very relevant. I'm glad it lined up.
I'm meeting a lot of new people in this town, and I have to have something to talk about. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. About electricity and semiconductors with them. They'll love it.
Why not? Why not?
Yeah. So we're going into Gemini season, baby. Yeah, honestly, Gemini season in the best of ways. Go out and just share your exciting ideas and thoughts with people. Go
Mhm.
out and chit chat, chit chat, chat. Be in community.
Yeah. And as we're also still maybe thinking about shadow work and stuff like that, like how can you be in community better, right? Like how can we modify the way we communicate? Like, is there someone we like that we're like, oh my gosh, that's a cool way to communicate. How can we make that part of our own mosaic, right? Or what do we see that we're like, don't like in people? Maybe kind of what he was saying earlier. Is it a reflection of what we are or something we're scared of, you know? These are
Yeah,
all journal prompts to get into that shadow work.
think about it.
Think about it or don't. Who cares? I'm not your mom.
We're not your
We're
mothers.
not your moms. Yeah. We're your mothers, but we're not your moms, you
We're not
know?
your moms. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know. Wow, can you believe that it's time to close up the circle? That was
I can't because I feel like I
goodbye.
have about 45 more minutes of chatting with y'all that I
I've
could do.
got such a, yeah, we could keep going, but we know people watch all over the world. You must be exhausted. You must be
Yeah.
in your
And Val is an actual mother who maybe needs
and
sleep.
Val is an actual mother, and it is past 9 o'clock in our time zone. So um why don't we all individually and together just relax back into our environment. Get back
Yeah.
We've been staring at a screen for a while, all of us. Look, there's a whole world around
What's
us.
around you?
Uh,
What is it? It's like, what do you smell? What do you
about
taste?
five
See?
things you see, touch, taste, smell, feel, zip, zap,
Yeah.
zap.
And as we're doing that, we can go ahead and complete this circle. Maybe take a deep breath in and let it out. Maybe one more deep breath in for the road.
Maybe just hang on.
Just hang on. And with this breath, we bring it back. Here we are.
Here we are with that breath. We bring you back to our home where we're grounding ourselves. And we'd like to thank everybody who joined us tonight. We'd like to thank our chosen deity for this season. Oh, I put Just B, which is the K-pop singer who came out recently.
Hell yeah.
Just a handful of K-pop singers who are out. So good on
Love
that.
love that for the fandom.
Love that for you. But yeah, everybody ground yourself back in your space. Thank you for joining us again. We really appreciate it. We're so happy to be back.
Yeah. And why don't you go ahead and give us a little follow? Really subscribe to the Trident Network so that you can see us here every single month. And we'll put their school schedule on the Patreon if you follow that.
I'll put my school schedule on the Patreon. Summer sessions coming up. Come talk
Yep.
to me about radio waves.
All right.
Whoa.
Well,
Uh,
how you should bring something that you learn from school every month.
I'll try.
Okay.
That's the
Okay. Okay.
motivation. Wow.
Well, we love you. Thank you. Take whatever resonated with you and go ahead and say fuck the rest.
Oh, fuck the rest.
We'll see you next month. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Same time, different place. Same time, same place. Same
Different time, different place. It's kind of cool like
place.
that.
Both at the same time. All right. Well, we'll let you go to sleep and dream of us. But
Go with grace.
okay,
Bye.
Bye.
bye.